Well, first things first, rest in peace, Heather O'Rourke. Kicking things back off with a link that I received from Mulo from none other than ihorror.com. Title being, "That Time a Super Bowl Poster Foreshadowed the Death of Poltergeist Heather O'Rourke." Heather O'Rourke, if you don't know, is the little creepy little girl coming out the TV like, "They're coming."
Mandela Effect.
In the 1982 classic, great year 1982, birthed none other than yours truly, Poltergeist. And Heather O'Rourke unfortunately met an untimely demise in 1988 of, I believe it was a colon issue at the age of 12. Very tragic demise itself. But the death itself, there was a premonition in said Poltergeist, her star vehicle Poltergeist in 1982. There was an allusion to that unfortunate, untimely death in 1988. And Mulo,
yes,
let's talk a little bit about
Let me tell you something. This story is weird as shit. I came across it and I couldn't let go, and I was like, you know what? We'll put this on the podcast. We'll let the people know about it because this is messed up. You know, I don't even know. Okay, so obviously the little blonde girl in Poltergeist, right? The movie was released in 1982. So you know how movies work. They work on it at least for like 3 years. So at least production started in 79. And there's a poster in the movie advertising Super Bowl 22, which is 6 years in the future from 1982 to 1988.
Bears fans, you know Super Bowl 20 was January 26th.
First of all, how does that make any sense? Why would anyone ever put in a movie from 1982 an advertisement for Super Bowl in 6 years later?
Does this have to do with reptilians?
It does not have to do with reptilians. Actually, it might.
Never mind.
You know what? Everything may fall right back in reptilians.
It might. I mean, somewhere in there.
But let me get through this because this is too insane and I don't want to bore everyone. So first off, I want to say the uncomfortable part about the story. This girl was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It wasn't Crohn's disease. It was some sort of issue with her anus. All right, guys. I'm sorry I have to say it. Some sort of bowel obstruction. And at 12 years old, this little girl had a stroke. Right? She had a stroke. She was 6 years old when the movie Poltergeist came out in '82. Follow me?
Yep.
So, you know why this is interesting? She died on the same day that the Super Bowl in 1988 happened.
Not the same day, but what is the other similarity with that Super Bowl?
Well, she also died in the same city that the Super Bowl was playing.
Same venue.
San Diego.
San Diego, California.
So what do we take away from this story, right? I mean, I didn't do a deep enough research. I'm going to let you guys maybe get an opinion out of this. I'm thinking I know where I want to go. Rico, I think you know where I want to go. So if you want to suggest it, go right ahead.
Well, I mean, not only is this is not just the only creepy thing about this whole movie. There's this movie's
right. The movie itself.
There's 5 members in the cast of this movie have died, like unexpectedly.
Interesting.
So, you know, there's a lot of mysterious and creepy things around this movie. But the one thing that we're touching on is, you know, the Mandela Effect. There's this theory called the Mandela Effect.
Oh no, the Mandela Effect. Scoble, do you know what the Mandela Effect is?
Is it like the butterfly effect?
It kind of, actually, yeah. Is that pretty much what it is, right, Rico?
I have to actually.
No.
I have to actually.
Is that so? Wait, so the Mandela Effect and the butterfly effect are different?
Totally different.
Totally different. Didn't Ashton Kutcher like fucking
no, you're right.
fart
It's
the
actually
wrong
the same
way?
thing.
You know what?
Same thing.
Also in the butterfly effect, let's not forget my guy, the fat dude from Varsity Blues. Wasn't he? Oh no, he wasn't. He was another fat guy. But all I'm saying is there was the fat guy from My Name Is Earl. But I'm just glad there was a fat guy in that movie.
All right.
That's great. That's great.
You know,
the Mandela Effect is I looked this up.
I have it right here too.
The Mandela effect is collective false memories, right?
Wait, is that the liberal definition of it?
Well, if everybody at once,
If everybody at once watched CNN,
yeah, if everybody at once remembers watching CNN and watching fucking Hillary win, that's a collective. That's the Mandela effect.
No, that is the generic liberal definition. Let's give an open-minded definition of what this is, all right?
Okay.
It's a theory of parallel universes based on the idea that because large groups of people have similar alternative memories about past events, advocates of this theory claim that these collective experiences to be true. A fabric of reality must have shifted at some point in the past. And that therefore not only do parallel inhabited universes exist, but we're constantly switching between them.
That's and you know what? That's what I heard. So basically, what they're saying is that literally throughout the day we are walking through parallel universes without even knowing it. And that's when I was talking about in episode 1 about how we can't see.
Hashtag 11 Dimensions.
Hashtag 11.
Available on iTunes now.
But I mean, I need people to realize something. This girl, she's a 12-year-old girl who had a stroke. Okay, my boss at my job just had a stroke. He's 68 years old. Okay, this is a 12-year-old girl with a bowel obstruction, quote unquote, and then she dies based on in the same day on a Super Bowl that was advertised in the movie that should have never been advertised. It makes absolutely no sense. So could this be a Mandela effect? And I've been looking at the Mandela effect, and fun fact, apparently in the most famous quote in the Star Wars movie, Luke, I am your father, actually never happened. Darth Vader actually just said, no, I am your father. No, Luke. So how come everybody is always quoting Luke, I am your father? Isn't that weird, guys? Like, who quotes movies with the wrong quote?
Explain this to me, though. What I understand about the Mandela, it's kind of like a double theory. Mandela effect, our lead off is, unfortunately, this girl meeting a tragic demise at the age of 12 due to a bowel obstruction.
Bowel obstruction,
quote unquote bowel obstruction.
I mean, come on.
But
man.
how does this correlate with Forrest Gump saying life is like a box in chocolates rather than
no. It was like
it isn't was. So how does the correlation of a slight alteration of a movie quote have to do with a girl meeting her demise at the age of 12 and unsavory influences, Illuminati, what have you?
It's odd. It's odd, man. That's why we're talking about this podcast. And honestly, I always have an answer for everything. This is the first time, maybe Rico.
Well, I dived a little bit into it. It's just like at different periods of times, like some sort of anomaly happens. Like 3 different. Okay, so another example I found was in Vegas. What just happened in Vegas? The shootings, right?
Are you sure? What shooting?
If it happened in Vegas, did it stay in Vegas?
All right, well, check this out.
It doesn't matter.
During that vicinity, during that area, there's been 3 or 4 different occurrences in the past 20 years. There was a woman who was crazy and she started running over people. I think that happened 10 years ago.
She's on PCP in Vegas.
There was something in 2005 where there was another instance where a bunch of people died. And it was in the same area, and it happened at different times. And there were some other creepy things going on, we go dive, that'd be a whole nother subject, but I mean, it's just to get back to the movie Poltergeist, in the movie, there's all this, she's in the movie, she dies, right? Mm-hmm. Certain day.
Wait, she dies?
What is broadcasted?
She dies in the movie?
No.
Word?
No, she dies, and then she goes. The date where the day and year is on the fucking wall. That's weird. Why is that on the wall?
Well, it could be some sort of, and I mean, this is intense. So, but the one thing I want to say about the Mandela effect is, it's weird because you think these people will debunk this easily, and then you see that for example, the Monopoly man, right? The Monopoly guy. Everyone believes that he has a monocle. Now,
What if he doesn't?
but the mainstream media is telling you that he never had a monocle.
He's not a real person.
But why wouldn't they just say, you know what, they update the company that makes the Monopoly game, Hasbro. Why can't they just update the character to have or not have a monocle? They're saying that he never had a monocle.
Who's MSM?
Hold on, there's evidence where they looked up newspaper clippings in 2000, 2003, 2007, where they describe the Monopoly man having a monocle. Yet the mainstream media and everyone is telling me that he never had a monocle. So what's happening here, Scopo? Wait, am I crazy? Are we in another timeline?
All I'm saying, who's MSM? This is shout out to Lunatic Liberal, shout out to CNN, shout out to Yahoo, shout out to whatever else, BuzzFeed, whatever else Lunatic Liberal's fucking with. But who is the liberal fake news MSM to tell me that this guy ain't got a monocle when I'm on Community Chess and I just won third place in the beauty contest?
What they're
I'm about to
telling
get $10. Motherfucker's rocking a monocle. What are you gonna tell me? Can't tell me shit.
This is what they're telling you. That the reason you think the Monopoly guy has a monocle is because you're thinking of the Mr. Peanut guy who has a monocle also.
And a cane.
Oh, he does have a cane.
He's got a cane as well. Walking stick, whatever you want to call it.
So anyway, so basically to end this segment, man, I gotta tell you guys, the little girl in the movie, creepy movie with spirits and shit, people are dying all around the movie. Then they predict her death on a Super Bowl.
But why?
6 years later, and she dies from an obstruction in her anus. I have no fucking clue, but everybody should look it up because maybe we can uncover something.
What's that Illuminati sacrifice?
This is a trending story. I don't think this is dying down anytime soon. I think more people are gonna look it up because right now I don't have enough information to determine.
A tragic story, definitely a tragic end, but hopefully we can gain some insight. Poltergeist,
Mandela effect.
Mandela theory.
We'll revisit this again.
Yeah.
We'll revisit this again.
Matt, how about you let him out with some theme music?